So I'm going to show you how adverse possession works in the state of Texas. Because my main goal overall is to clear up the misconceptions about adverse possession and eradicate the stigma surrounding adverse possession as if it's something negative. So follow me as I break down the law and clear up the misconceptions. So first we're going to go to the Texas statute under Civil Practice and Remedies Code. And this is important to note because all states' adverse possession codes are going to be under civil practice or the civil codes. Because adverse possession is a civil matter and not a criminal matter. And as I stated plenty of times before, police have no jurisdiction in civil matters. So that means police shouldn't be evicting you from a property. But let's move on. We're going to go to Title II, Trial, Judgment, and Appeal. Subtitle B, Trial Matters. Chapter 16, Limitations. Subchapter B, Limitations of Real Property Actions. And let's go to the definition section. And here's the definition. Adverse possession means an actual and visible appropriation of real property, commence and continue under a claim of right that is inconsistent with and hostile to the claim of another person. Peaceable possession means possession of real property that is continuous and not interrupted by an adverse suit to recover the property. Now, if we go back to all this, you're going to see all the statutes pertaining to adverse possession and how to do an adverse possession suit in the state of Texas. Now, I'm going to reinforce those civil codes with another source. And this is from American Jurisprudence Legal Forms, 2nd edition, dealing with adverse possession. Statutes of limitations generally bar actions for recovery of real property when the owner has not been in possession of the property for a specified period. And such statutes generally confer a legal title on the person who has entered, occupied, or used the property for the specified period. Next, let's talk about notices. So let's go back to the Texas statute at section 16.0265, because again, we're dealing with limitations of real property actions, just like I just read you. Under C, it says to make a claim of adverse possession, and I'm going to skip all this and go to this point, affidavit of adverse possession. And 2, publish notice of the claim in a newspaper of general circulation in the county in which the property is located for the 4 consecutive weeks immediately following the date the affidavit required by subdivision 1 are filed. So now we're talking about an affidavit and a public notice. An actual posting of notice of the adverse claim addressed to the public or to known persons claiming some interest in the subject property ordinarily will satisfy the requisite. One of the primary purposes of giving public notice of adverse possession of property is the evidentiary use of the notice, where permitted, in any later action litigating the alleged adverse possession. So now you should see that adverse possession has actual steps and requirements that it takes for somebody to actually do this process. Because the media is not going to tell the people it's legitimate or how it's legitimate, because they're just going to spin the narrative and put a negative stigma on it and call it squatting. So going back to American Jurisprudence Legal Form 2nd edition dealing with adverse possession, they give you the template of the notice of claim of adverse interest by possessor, which again proves its legitimacy. Because if it wasn't legitimate, then why would it be in the books? My next source is from American Jurisprudence Pleading and Practice Form on adverse possession. Possession has long been recognized as a mean of acquiring title to property, and possession adverse to the true owner may ripen into title by the lapse of time. Title acquired by adverse possession is the equivalent of title acquired by purchase and conveyance, and is available as a complete defense in an action brought by the former owner or any other claimant to recover the property. Book reference. Methods of acquiring title to real estate. 1. Purchase. 2. Inheritance and gift. 3. Adverse possession. So why isn't the news media breaking this down whenever they're talking about adverse possession? And how come I can go to the law library and get the actual affidavit of adverse possession template form? So even though I broke down the laws pertaining to Texas, you can find adverse possession statutes in all 50 states if you look under the civil statute or civil code of your state, which I include in my ebook anyways. So if you want my step-by-step process in my ebook and how I did adverse possession, DM me the word property and I'll get to you. Because I'm teaching people how to find true abandoned properties, and instead of having the properties wait there to be sold by the state for taxes, I'm teaching people how to go claim those types of abandoned properties. So again, DM me the word property and I'll get to you soon. Peace.